everyone. My name is Marion Napoleon, and I'm a senior instructor out of Texas. Most importantly, I am here today to talk to you about the importance of getting your certification or your SFR certification. If you have not, and if you've already gotten that, wanting to make sure that you brush up on your skills and get yourself in position to win in 2020 and beyond. And one of the things I want to make sure you understand, short sales will always be around, and they have always been around. And foreclosures have always been around. But most importantly, with our current market condition, or our current economic condition, so to speak, we're in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of individuals have lost their jobs. So unemployment rate is at an all-time high. We also have a large number of individuals impacted by COVID-19 as far as their health is concerned. So a lot of them may have lost their businesses as a result of going in the hospital and unable to work, or just simply all of the investments, all of the industries, everyone has been impacted in some way by COVID-19. So some of the things we're going to talk about today is really understanding how do we work with distressed homeowners amid a storm or amid a crisis, okay? So let's jump in, let's get started. And I hope to see some of you guys in our future SFR classes. So I'm gonna share my screen with you briefly. Okay, awesome. So a couple of things I want to talk with you today about is distressed homeowners and understanding that these distressed homeowners, they're going to need you in the near future. And one of the things we want to make sure you understand is all of the terminology, how to find these properties, and how to manage them and market them to your advantage. So when we talk about distressed properties, many people don't understand what we mean by that. But what we mean is simply any homeowner that has found themselves in a financial hardship or distress situation. And again, we'll give you a list of those, but let's say, for example, a divorce. A divorce simply means that you had an individual household that was used to potentially two very strong incomes. But now, as a result of a divorce, they're only going to have one income, which automatically puts those individuals in what we call a financial hardship, because it's going to be very difficult for them to continue maintaining maybe that exact household under one particular income. But also when you look over at the financial hardships, it just simply means there are many reasons why you can be in that financial hardship situation. Some of the ways in which are the ways we define financial hardships. Unemployment. Again, I spoke about the massive number of individuals that are unemployed as a result of our current pandemic. So that can simply have a tremendous impact. Loss of hours. So let's just say that prior to COVID, you were working 8 hours a day or a lot of overtime. But what I'm hearing a lot of individuals say is that overtime has been pretty much pulled back, and some of them, their hours have been cut in half. So now they're dealing with a very large financial hardship in their household. Underemployment is another thing. It just means somewhat similar to loss of income, but it just means that they just can't find the right type of employment, or the number of hours or whatever. Relocation is one that many people don't think about. Let's just say your job relocates you 50 miles away. That means that your current household, you may have a family living in that household. So you're going to have to maintain that mortgage. And then in the meantime, you're going to have to set up a temporary housing situation, which is rental. So now you're paying income in two different households, which can basically put you in a financial hardship and potentially qualify you for short sale. Business values. Oh, a lot of small businesses and large corporations alike have had to close their doors in our current environment. And as a result of that, that's creating an immediate hardship for them because they cannot pay their mortgage, they can't pay their bills, okay? And this is what we're talking about here, is their inability to pay their mortgage, illness and medical costs. I know a lot of fellow realtors and friends and family members that actually personally had some type of medical situation going on with COVID. Health insurance increases. Boy, that's a whole nother conversation that we'll save for another day. divorce and death of spouses. So let's start with death. Man, we have had a lot of Americans lose their lives at this current time, which means probate courts are absolutely going crazy right now, and they will be once everything settles. I've been dealing with probates for a very long time. And what I'm seeing now is a very interesting boom on that side. So that's a hardship that many realtors don't think about. Divorce, financial hardships, I explained that earlier, but divorces can also potentially mean a receivership for you as a realtor if you understand how it works and if you build those relationships with the courts. But most importantly, we need to make sure we educate the consumer that if a death or a hardship or any of these things go on, we can help you as realtors, okay? Increase in mortgage payments. We have a lot of people who were under temporary modifications that were coming out of them. Now they've got this massive increases. So this is another financial hardship potentially. Natural disasters. Guys, that's tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, pandemics. Those are all different things that what we consider acts of God, or they're just simply things that are out of our will and are out of our way. So these are all what we call valid financial hardships. Now, what you have to be careful with is making sure that individuals are not trying to create some type of strategic default where they may go in and stop paying their mortgage payments simply because everyone else is taking advantage of all of the forbearances and COVID. Why not take advantage of that? One of the things I always like to tell people is when there's a storm or when there's a disaster going on, most people have a tendency to freeze or really kind of get paralyzed. This is the time and when you as realtors or brokers should really step out ahead of the game and build your business. Many realtors during the 2008 and 9 debacle, man, you guys found yourself having to get out of real estate or having to get full-time jobs or having to do other things to survive because the market shifted so quickly. Now, it's not my position to say whether or not we're going to have a tsunami of REO properties. But here's what I say, get in position so that you can do whatever the market bring to us. Let's be in position to deal with that, okay? So some of the opportunities, BPOs, let me tell you, I know a lot of broker shops that make thousands of dollars a month simply doing BPOs. Now, what a BPO is simply a market analysis or a CMA on steroids, okay? Anywhere from $80 to $100 per transaction. That may not seem like a lot of money, but guess what that does? It opens the doors to corporate relationships. So you have a lot of companies that will need you to do those. And once they know that you understand pricing, you understand your market, then they may reach out to you when there is foreclosure in your area and they don't have a realtor kind of in-house. They may reach out to you and say, hey, we'd like for you to handle this REO property for us because we know you understand pricing in your area. Okay, now when you look at that BPO, that's versus an appraisal that can be anywhere from $400 and up on the residential side. Another that many realtors are very unaware of is what we call BOVs, broker opinion of values. And these are commercial BPOs or what we call CMAs on steroid, but it's a more customized version, okay? Now those pay up to $250 to $2,500 depending on how complex the commercial estate is or property and all of those things versus an appraisal that can go up to $5,000 and $25,000. So in a lot of these environments, they use both, but they need you as realtors to do the other two. Now, another thing, short sales. Let me tell you guys something about short sales. When I started my career in real estate, I did a lot of new construction. New construction has always been my passion and everything. It's just been the way to go for me. But one of the things I quickly realized is a lot of individuals got more house than they could truly afford. So one of the things I did was stayed close to the heartbeat of that consumer and made sure they were okay because, you know, property taxes can go up, all kinds of things can happen when you purchase a new home. But as a result of that, many of them would reach out to me and confide in me, so to speak, because here's something I want you to understand about short sales. Your family members, your friends, your coworkers, and your clients, when they are falling on hard times, they're not going to reach out to you immediately because they're embarrassed. They don't want people to know. So this is a very sensitive area in which you can make it a huge niche in your business. But reach out to them. How's it going? Running into any problems? How may I help you? Set yourself in position to be the housing counselor and to work with that consumer in good times and in bad. Penetrate that short sale, set up your short sale playbook, and know when to move in to help them on short sales. Another area is corporate REO listings. Now, this one is probably one of the hardest areas to penetrate, but I'll talk to you guys about that. We do a great job in our SFR book talking to you about the different asset management companies, but get out there and get into some of those conferences and all of those things so that you can set yourself in position to potentially get a very nice REO client, okay? Again, probates, I've just talked about that because if there's deaths or anything like that, you're going to have individuals who may have a will, which means they're going to have an executor reach out to you. And if they don't, then that means that you're going to have to work with an attorney on the court side. But man, in that distressed property, that's a big one. Receiverships, we talked a little bit about that with divorces. If they're going through any type of divorce situation and they can't agree, then the courts jump in and the judge or the courts will decide that realtor is going to pretty much handle that property, and that should be you. And then again, investment opportunities for you as realtors, or investment opportunities to get in there and work with investors that might be interested in some of this distressed properties, okay? Another area that I really want you to beef up in is really educating yourself and preparing to win when the opportunities, right in front of your face. So again, get that SFR certification and get it now. Don't wait until you're in the middle of the storm and then try to go back and get it. Get it now. Also, keep up with economic updates, both from a national level, from a state level, and in your local markets. And this picture here, I love to follow all of the economists. I've Lawrence Yun is one, National Association of Realtors, and I follow him on LinkedIn. I've had the opportunity to be the presenter that brings them on stage in our state. There's, our state economists, but just get yourself engulfed in what's going on, because what's so wonderful right now, no one really knows what's going to happen. A lot of predictions, but everyone right now is kind of in a hurry up and wait situation to see what 2021 has in store, because we're at the end of the year, where we have the holidays, there's been a presidential election, and no one forecloses in the middle of that. We also have forbearances going on, and a lot of those have been extended. So really, really keep your ears and eyes on what's going on in your market so that you can be ready to run when it happens, okay? Master the terminology in this particular industry. We've done a great job, again, of giving you all of the terminology, but when we throw out things like BPO, government-sponsored entities, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, no one understands what all of that means to you as a realtor and how you can capitalize on that to win, okay? REO conferences, not a lot of them out there. 5 stars one, but guys, I can't stress enough to you, this is the time to not only attend those REO conferences, but make sure attending your state conferences and your National Association of Realtors conferences, because if there's something big that's going to happen, I guarantee you those guys are going to be on board. And again, join any discussions about distressed properties, okay? You've got Riz Media coming up really soon in January, just did part of that. Take advantage. Get signed up, know what is going on in your industry. Another area that you can really set yourself apart, and you can do this now, is really marketing yourself to distressed homeowners and marketing yourself as a distressed property expert. And here's 3 tips of which you can use in our current market. One of the big things is Zoom. Man, take advantage of not just Zoom, but take advantage of all of the platforms that you can invite homeowners that are experiencing problems to join you for an evening of discussion on distressed properties, okay? Position yourself as the expert in your area. Another thing, reach out to churches. I love the any 55 and over communities, but any organization that I can reach out to, that I have the ability to talk to employees, especially with unemployment and things like that. I always like to ask, hey, do you mind if I come in and give them some opportunities of how they can save their properties if they're interested, or how we can move forward with preventing a foreclosure. Another thing, video is huge, guys. So I don't care if you're doing YouTube videos, Facebook Live, Instagram now has a great video element within it. LinkedIn also, and Twitter. Take those and upload them to Twitter. But get in the video business, because if you can get that affiliated with your search engine optimization and things like that, man, it's going to help you get found when the corporate entities are looking for REO agents, so to speak. And if you are in a market where you still have the ability to do face-to-face live meetings, take advantage of that as well, okay? But be part of the group that gets their marketing out early and not the ones that wait until after it's too late. These are just kind of some examples, but remember, in your SFR material, there's a lot of great marketing ideas, okay? But here's one on a lot of the classes: how to help distressed homeowners amid a crisis. But I do another spin of that of, are you a homeowner in a crisis? How we can help you save your home. And then probate and distressed property pros, and that's where we really brag about all of our certifications and designations in that area. But man, SFR is by far the best. And make sure that on your LinkedIn profile and on your Facebook profile and all of your social media profiles, that you brag about the fact that you are SFR certified. Also, one of the biggest nuggets I want you to take away is there are so many corporate opportunities that many realtors are not aware of, okay? So what you need to do is market your SFR certification. Spell it out, short sale foreclosure certifications, because now if you put that into your LinkedIn profiles or Facebook and make it part of your website, all of that, you're going to now, when they Google you, like the gentleman on the right here, he's the only person that pulled up when I Googled short sales, preparing for short sales and foreclosure listings. And he does videos, little episodes, both to mostly to the consumers, okay? Another thing is really make sure that you understand pricing and BPOs, and that you can explain to them that you have that knowledge, because again, they're always looking for residential real estate professionals in their subdivision or in their market or in their city to help them with pricing. And again, make sure that you can be found. One of the things, I come out of the REO world, spent 6.5 years with a very large asset management company, working with Fannie Mae, VA, HUD, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, on the training side, managing and training REO agents how to really handle these properties, but most importantly, helping when it came to recruitment. And one of the things I found, or that we found, when we had areas that we did not have agents in our database, we Googled the areas. We Googled REO agents, foreclosure agents, distressed property agents, all type of concatenations to find us realtors in that area. And if you are not properly setting your your keyword searches and making sure your website talks about the fact that that is one of the specialty areas that you handle, you're losing out. Another thing I want you to really make sure that you're careful with, and this is why you want to get this SFR certification, is remember, distressed property is a very specialized area of which you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't understand what is going on. And you are really not doing your client any service by not having an education and understanding of exactly what they're getting into prior to moving them into that. Let me give you a couple of examples. If for some reason you don't realize that if they are short, let's say if the house is worth $100,000, and wouldn't that be great to find a $100,000 house, and you only sell it for $20,000? Just giving an example. Then there's that deficiency shortage there. They're going to want to see that taken care of in some kind of way. So what happens in every state is different, because it's all state specific, is there's a strong possibility that consumer can get a 1099 or can get a big bill from the IRS that says, hey, guess what? You owe this money. And as realtors, it's our job to make sure that we look out for our clients and get a deficiency waiver, or make sure that that client is reaching out, trying to get a deficiency waiver. A lot of little bitty things, okay? Another thing that I want to make sure you are in position to do is to find these distressed deals early in the process. Now, all of us have amazing tools right at our fingertips through our associations. One of them is RPR. RPR does a great job of telling us where that asset is, which is what we call a property, where that asset is in the foreclosure process. So what we want to do is we want to get it quick. We want to get it right when they give them the notice of foreclosure, okay? You've got to really stay close to the heartbeat of that consumer and making sure you're asking, hey, is everything okay? Has this pandemic impacted you? If so, have you received any letters from the lender? Please share them with me. You also want to know about the foreclosure notice. Have they gotten the foreclosure notice? Also, are they already in position to do the sale? And most importantly, has it moved in the foreclosure? Now, here's another thing, the reason it's important to get it early in the process. When it comes to short sale, there's nothing short about it. I think we all know that. But the earlier you grab it in the process, the more likely you are to get it across the finish line before it hits foreclosure, because the foreclosure process does not stop for anyone. There's a couple of reasons, bankruptcy or something like that. But for the most part, that foreclosure or that REO process, it's going to continue. It can be halted, but until that consumer can pretty much pay that and bring it up to current payment, that process is going to move on, okay? Another system, and a lot of large associations provide the advanced version of Remind for free. But Remind is another resource that is amazing, because not only can you find where it is in the process, but you can actually go out and look at, hey, show me all of the properties in this area that have been in default for X number of months. So it's a great way to look at what's going on in your neighborhood, your community, or in your city for that matter. Okay, MLSs have done a great job of now populating a foreclosure element to it, which allows you to go in and look and see what's going on, where is it in the process, but grab them early in the process. Know and understand that if you take that short sale, got to make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time. Because I'm going to tell you, I have been able to take a short sale in 2 weeks. And if you get the right cash buyer and someone that's ready, willing, and able, and you know how to communicate and navigate through the systems and get to the right people, you can get it closed. But you got to be committed, and your clients have to be committed. We call it distressed for a reason. If they're in a distressed situation, that means that their finances are distressed. That means that they are stressed. And nine times out of 10, if it's something like a divorce or something like that, trying to get all the documentation together is a nightmare. And that's the number one reason why short sales fall apart. It has nothing to do with the lenders ignoring you. It's all about collecting all of the proper documentation, submitting it at one time, and following through and making sure that you are staying on top of everything, okay? So grab those deals early in the process so that you can win. Get out if you have not already gotten that SFR certification. If you have, take it again, because we've done a rewrite of that. Get ready to position yourself to win, guys, in 2021 and beyond. And I look forward to seeing you in some of our SFR classes. Again, my name is Marion Napoleon, and I thank you so much for your time.